today. So I'm jumping on here early. I reset the time to earlier and then I'm jumping on a few minutes early and just going to have a little bit of an intro before we get into the workout. So hopefully those of you who are interested in attending this live, were able to make it to this adjusted time. If not, you can always catch the replay later. It's this dark, gloomy, rainy day here, and I don't want to have to move my lights upstairs because I don't want to damage them, bring them out into the rain. So I decided to make the workout earlier, but we have a leak in the roof and it's going to get fixed at some point and I don't know when. So the challenge is, will this get interrupted by that? Because there's going to be a bunch of hammering on the roof. Hopefully we can get through our workout without any interruption and that will happen afterwards. But if I do run into an interruption and need to pause a live, then I will go ahead and go back to the original time at 3:30 and do it then. So we're gonna do a Paralette workout today. Before we jump into that, I wanna show you my awesome Paralettes I've got here. So we're gonna be using both the larger ones and the smaller ones. You could have one or the other. Some of the exercises are going to work better with a larger Paralette. Generally, I would say the larger ones are more versatile. There's more things you can do with it, but the smaller ones are really nice to have because they're easy to travel with. They're great for push-ups. They're great for handstands. It's one of the things I love with them most is being able to do handstand training on those in a different wrist position. So either one is great, but ideally a larger set. You're gonna have more things that you can do in your workout. We're just gonna kind of skim the surface of Paralette training. I'm gonna show you like six or seven different exercises that you can do and get started with. And of course there's more, but this is just gonna be a little intro workout for you. And if you guys like it, we can do more of them in the future. Awesome. Southwest said they've never heard of Paralette. So essentially Paralette, it's just like a mini parallel bar. So you know how in gymnastics they have the parallel bars that the guys do stuff on, and those bars, like the ones you find at the playground, where you can both you can kind of get in between them and you can kind of walk on them or do dips on them. So essentially this is a mini version. Okay, so I have these beautiful wooden Paralettes from Beyond Balance. So that's the same company that my stall bars are from. So both of these are from Beyond Balance. What I love about these is there's a percentage of the profits from this company are donated to like saving trees or planting trees, which I think is great. And there's also, there's no like thick lacquer, kind of chemical lacquer on here. They just use mineral oil on the wood. So it's very natural, eco-friendly, and non-toxic, which I'm all for. So totally recommend these Beyond Balance Paralettes or either of the Beyond Balance Paralettes. Love these, they're great. So those are what I'm gonna use today. And what we're gonna do, and I'll wait just a couple more minutes to get started because I did say 1:15 and I jumped on a little bit early. We're going to be doing a warm-up and then we're going to go through some different exercises. So Paralettes, similar to rings, are obviously focused more on the upper body and the core. There are some leg exercises you can do. We are going to be using it for a kind of mobility strengthening exercise for the lower body, so they can be used for that as well. But in general, they're going to be focused more on your upper body. So get ready to build a really strong upper body. These ones, both of these, but these ones are really nice for is anybody who has issues with, extending the wrists. Okay, so if this is tough for you, for example, you get pain in your wrists on push-ups, something like this is going to put your wrist in a neutral position when you do push-ups, and that's going to be easier on the wrist. So these are a nice tool if you like to do push-ups or plank type exercises. This is a great tool to use so that your wrists won't hurt, and you can easily like travel with these. You know, you can put them together like this and they're quite small, so you could fit them into a backpack or into a suitcase, which is nice as well if you like to do push-ups or other body weight exercises when you travel. Really cool tool to use for that. And of course these larger ones, they're not quite as travel friendly, but like I said, there's more versatility that you can do with these because they are taller. So there's different exercises that aren't going to work as well with the small ones, or may not work at all with the small ones, that are going to work really well with these taller parallettes. So I think I'm mostly going to use these ones, although there is, I think one exercise I'm going to show you actually the smaller parallette would be optimal for, because the one challenge with these taller parallettes is if you want to do some kind of hand balancing exercise on top of them, you have to kind of like kick yourself up, which can be pretty tough to do, especially when you're first starting out. So for that purpose, those smaller ones are going to be better for certain exercises. Let me know if you have any questions about parallettes. I'd love to answer those for you. And what you may need for today's workout is either a slider, or if you don't have a slider, using a sock. If you're on like hardwood floor, you can slide with that. You can also use a paper plate. You could also skip that exercise or just take notes on it, try it later. But one of the exercises is going to include this slider as well. Just giving you a heads up on that. And if you missed it, I went live about an hour ago on how to make beef oxtail. Okay, kind of random, but I have done some cooking lives before, just showing the type of food that I meal prep and that I make, and giving you some ideas of what things that you can make that are high protein and delicious. So if you're interested in potentially making beef oxtail, or you don't know how to make it, check out my videos about marinating it, and then I talked a little bit about how I'm going to stew it and cook it. So be sure to check that out later when you have a few minutes. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. I gotta bring the kettle corn out. Okay, my unicorn with kettlebells. If you wanna get your kettle corn tank top or t-shirt, make sure to check out the link in the description for this video, and you can grab yours. So we're gonna get started with some mobility, a little bit of a warm up. Move these things aside, make sure we got a little bit of space. Okay, so we're gonna start off with some neck mobility. Feel free to join in with me here. Always good to check in with the neck. I've said it before, I will say it again, especially if you're doing an upper body workout, that's going to be key. Okay, coming to center, turn, look over your shoulder, turn, look over the other. Okay, coming to center, you're going to slowly drop your ear up and over. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and do some chin circles. So you're going to drop your chin to your chest, circle up and around like you're tracing a circle out on a whiteboard in front of you with your chin. Or in a window, or whatever you want to imagine. Reverse direction. Good. Now we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of shoulder mobility. So you're going to roll the shoulders, both sides, reverse direction. Good. We're going to do a little bit of internal, external rotation, doing the Egyptian. Okay, a little dance move for you. Feel free to break that one out. You can thank me later. Okay, now let's go ahead and we're going to do a little bit of nerve flossing, just like we did for our ring training yesterday. So what you're going to do, gently pull your head away, push the shoulder down, pull your fingers up, extending that wrist, and then slowly come up and then release. Okay, so nerve flossing is a way to kind of condition your nerves to be able to handle some pressure on them, because some of these exercises are going to, be working areas where you may feel some tension, and the nerve flossing just helps prepare your body for that. Mobility is really closely tied into your nervous system, because if your nervous system perceives something as threatening, it's going to tighten up or not want to go into that range of motion. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and do some up, down dogs next. Okay, so what you're gonna do, down dog, like yoga. Okay, you're gonna push your hips back, push your heels to the floor, and then you are going to drop your hips, lift your chest, stretch out the front line of your body. If you want to kind of drop one hip to the floor and then the other, you get a nice stretch on your obliques and your back. Okay, we're going to bring it back to that down dog. And then up. We're going to go ahead and do it 3 more times. And 1 more. Okay, go ahead and walk it up or come up to standing. And then we're going to go ahead and do a plank with a kind of a lunge and a rotate. So a little bit of a stretch here for the lower body. So plank position, bring 1 foot up to wherever you're able to bring it up. And you're going to rotate and reach. Okay, and then you'll switch. Other side. Nice stretch for the hips and hamstrings. Go ahead and go to 10. 5 each side. That's 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Okay, we're gonna move into our Paralette workout. Okay, excited to share this with you guys. So I'm gonna use my large Paralettes. Again, these are by Beyond Balance, wooden Paralettes with mineral oil. Love these. Okay, so what we're gonna work on first is push-ups. Okay, so the good thing about these big Paralettes is that they're like, when you do push-ups on them, they're like an incline, a little bit of an incline. So that can make it a little bit easier if you're not ready for a full push-up on the ground. If you are quite well versed at push-ups, the other nice thing that you can do about this is you can extend your range of motion beyond the normal push-up, because normally you have to, you know, your chest hits the floor, it's as far as you can go. But when you use Paralettes, you can actually go lower than that, and you can extend your range of motion. Now, I only recommend that if you are very solid in your push-ups. Okay, if you are still working on a full push-up, you don't want to try to do more than that range of motion, obviously. If you're still working partial range, you can simply work here, partial range of motion. Okay, you can always go from your knees as well if you need to. So that extended range of motion, I only recommend if you're, again, very well versed at push-ups and your shoulders feel good, don't have any shoulder pain, etc. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do 5 push-ups. Okay, working the range of motion, that's best for you. Make sure that you're not sticking your booty up, so tuck your tailbone under, engage your core. Okay, and you go to the range of motion that works, and you can stay strong, keeping that core engaged. 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna kind of walk it through and we're gonna work our dips here, okay? So I want you to go nice and slow, keeping those elbows squeezed together, and then push up. I'm gonna put mine a little bit closer. If they're too wide, it's kind of easy to have them flop outwards. Okay, so nice and slow, elbows squeezed together, push up, contract those triceps at the top, okay? 5 reps, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Nice job. We're gonna do that again. One more time. Yes, EV Warrior, these are some nice parallettes, little mini parallel bars. We love them. We enjoy training on them. All right, we're gonna do one more set of push-ups here. Okay, again, 5 reps. Quality more important than quantity. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Those are tough. Those are tough when you extend that range of motion. Okay, dips. You can also bring your legs out. If you want to make it harder, you could lift one leg up or come up onto your toes to have a little bit less support from the lower body. Again, squeezing those elbows together. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, our next one, our last set of push-ups and dips, we are going to combine. We're going to go push-up, step or jump through, dip. Step or jump through back to the push-up, etc. I'll show you real quick what that's going to look like. Hopefully I can get a good angle for you here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to go a little bit of a narrower grip so I don't have to move it. Okay, so I'm going to go push up, jump through, dip, jump back. Now the alternative here is to go push up, step, step, dip, step, step, push up. Okay, so it's going to be 5. 1 push up, 1 dip is 1. Alternating back and forth. Okay, this is a fun one. Have fun with it, whether you're stepping or jumping through. The jump through is really going to require more from the core. All right, 5 reps. I gotta wrap my brain around this. Ready, set, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Whew, that'll get your heart rate up too. Not just strength, but getting a little cardiovascular workout here too. Okay, take a little breather, and then we're gonna go into our second set of exercises. So, for this one, here is a reason why we're gonna wanna use these little ones. Okay, here's an exercise for what you wanna use that. EV Warrior said, can you do an L-sit? That one looks hard. Yes, we're about to work on that right now. Knee tuck or L-sit or somewhere in between, okay? L-sit is definitely a combination. It's upper body, it's core, but it's actually also your hip flexor strength. Okay, so L-sits are gonna get a lot easier when your hip flexors get stronger so they can assist you, your upper body and your core. Okay, so first exercise is going to be a crow or crane pose, okay? And then, I'm trying to give you, make sure you can see me here. And you can either balance, so you have two options. The first one, easier, is you're simply going to lean and you're going to hold there, pushing into the parallettes and shifting your weight forward, okay? The harder option is going to be, you're going to lift and hold, okay? If you want to go in between, you could go 1 foot down, 1 foot up, okay? So we're gonna hold it for about a 10 count or so. All right, so choose your variation. You can either hang out here Lift one foot or lift both. Holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then slowly, carefully come back. So that's one where you would want to use these lower ones, because with the taller bar, you would have to like jump up, okay? And so that would make it a lot harder. Like if you were trying to use this to do it, you could do it, but you would have to kind of like jump up. It's going to be more challenging when you're first starting. So that one I would recommend with a lower bar, okay? This next one you can do with either one, but this is a little easier here. So now we're going to go into what EV Warrior mentioned, knee tuck or L-sit or somewhere in between. Here's what I mean by that. You are going to support yourself here, okay? Knee tuck hold, option 1. Option 2, one leg out. Option 3, L-sit, both legs out, okay? So you choose whatever one works. I think I might start with an L-sit. We'll see if I can maintain that for 3 sets because I haven't been practicing them, okay? And we'll hold it for about, again, 10 seconds, okay? Going to be plenty of stimulus, especially if this is a challenging exercise for you. So go ahead and support yourself. Important to push the shoulders down. Try not to let your shoulders go like this, okay? So it's going to kind of crunch your shoulders, not going to feel real comfortable. So you want to make sure to push down. That's also going to engage your lats, and you're going to be stronger over time as those get stronger, okay? So push down, okay? Holding here for about 10 seconds. Okay. I see I can't count while I'm doing that one because it's too hard. And absolutely, South to West said, good workout for the triceps. Yes, both of these exercises, all of these exercises are good for your triceps. Okay, so we're going back to that crow or crane balance here, okay? Set number 2, again, about 10 seconds. You don't need a lot of time because, especially if you're not well versed in this exercise, it's going to be challenging enough. So option 1, lean without taking the feet off the ground. Option 2, lift up and hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly release if you can. A graceful dismount is nice. All right. I'm gonna do my L-sit. You guys are gonna see. I'm gonna try to keep my toes up high, but they usually start to fall after a couple seconds. So it's like I start with my feet as high as I can and then try to just keep them above parallel as long as I can, which, you know, will probably be about 5 or 6 seconds. All right. Remember, you can always just knee tuck or you can extend one leg, okay? Oh, okay. I can like use the chat to show me if my feet are staying up or not. Just kind of nice. Get an idea of what I'm doing. All right, you guys. This is going to be wearing me out a little bit today, even though the workout isn't that long. I haven't been using my parallettes for any training, so I'm probably going to be a little sore tomorrow because I haven't done this stuff in a while. Whew, okay. One more set on that crow pose hold or balance, and then we'll go into our next set of exercises. Okay, ready, get steady, and going. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The other thing I should mention is that when you're first starting with parallette training, you probably don't necessarily want to pair exercises. You probably just want to rest in between sets of the same exercise because you're going to be tired. So pairing these two together is maybe not optimal, but for the sake of showing you guys these exercises. I could be wrong, but I don't think anybody's following along with the workout. They're probably getting ideas for their workout. So I'm just showing you some different exercises. You're probably better off when you first start, like, okay, do a set of push-ups. Give yourself a minute or two of rest. Do another set of push-ups. Give yourself rest, you know, and do 2 or 3 sets, and do that with each exercise. But for the sake of just showing you guys more exercises, and then you can set it up on your own. If you have questions about how to do that, drop them in the chat. Saudated said, never seen that before, question mark. Well, I'm glad to show you something new. The parallettes or the move. All right, so we're gonna do knee tuck or L-sit. I think I might have one more L-sit in me. We'll see if I can make it to approximately 10 seconds in my head. You know, that's always faster than actual 10 seconds. All right, ready, set, go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. See, that one gets my quads and my hip flexors, so it's not just an upper body exercise, not just a core exercise. Actually, your legs are working on the L-sit as well. When you're doing a knee tuck here, it's a lot less legs and a lot more just core and arms. But once the legs extend, it's also strength of those legs. All right, so now our next set of exercises I'm going to show you. One of them is another hold for the upper body, and then we're actually going to do a lower body exercise. It's great for mobilizing the hips and the hamstrings. So excited to show you that one. What we're going to do for this one could go either you could use either your shorter or taller parallettes, but in some ways it's better with the small ones. I think it's going to be easier with the tall one. So if you're just starting, the tall one may be better, and then as you progress, you could go for the smaller ones. Okay, so what we're going to do here, what's most important on this one, we're going to do a planche lean plank hold. So if plank hold is hard for you, just do plank hold. But if plank hold is not so bad for you, what you're going to do is you're going to lean forward, and this is going to make it more challenging. So notice my shoulders are leaning further forward. That's going to require my lats to fire harder, my core, my shoulders. Okay, so that leads to eventually being able to do like a planche lean tuck hold, which I don't even think I can do, but like leaning there and lifting your feet, which is really tough upper body exercise, but something that you can train towards with calisthenics training. Okay, so hands are going to be about as wide as they would be for a regular plank, and you're simply going to shift your shoulders forward, kind of over those wrists. We're going to just hold there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I don't know if you guys can see that, but my arms are definitely shaking. Okay, so this next exercise is the one where you would need a slider if you're on carpet, or just like a nice slippery sock if you're on hardwood floor. And this one is going to work a lot better with your tall parallettes. It's not going to work very well with the low parallettes. So what you're going to do is you're going to place your heel on the slider. Okay, you're going to be in kind of a lunge position on your back knee is down. And what you're going to do is you're simply going to actually start these a little farther forward. You're going to slide, and you're just going to slide forward to the place where you feel some stretch, and then you're going to glide back. And you're going to use the parallettes to assist you as much as you need. Okay? And this is going to help you strengthen front hamstring, back hip. And you're stretching, okay? But I'm pushing my heel down into the slider, into the floor, especially as I'm coming back up, because that's going to build strength. And it's stretching, right? Try to keep your pelvis tucked under. Try not to stick your booty out, okay? As that's going to create more of the stretch and work on that back hip. 2 more. And if your back knee is tender, if this is a tough one on your back knee, you can go ahead and place something underneath your back knee. So you're always welcome to place like a pad under your back knee. You can place a towel or a pillow or something to help you with that. So trying best we can to keep some core engagement and just going to where we can keep that pelvis tucked under. 4, 5, 6. Really a very good lower body exercise. Like I said, it's going to build strength, but it's also going to help you stretch and get more flexible. And maybe you don't have a lot of range of motion in it. That matters less than that you feel the stretch and that you feel the work. Okay, so we're gonna go back to our planche lean. See if I can give you a little bit of a better side view this time so you can see me leaning my shoulders forward. Okay, so plank, and then shift that weight forward. Keep your core engaged. Hold 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Parallettes are a great tool to also help you build the strength for rings. So if you watched my ring training live and you thought, oh my God, I just don't have the upper body strength to do that, parallettes are a great tool to help you build some of that upper body strength to work towards doing some of those trickier ring exercises, because they do require quite a lot of upper body strength. 3, 4, 5, and how many of these you do is less important than that you're feeling the stretch, you're feeling the work. If it's your first time doing the exercise, maybe you only do 5 reps so that you don't get too sore from it. I have done this exercise many times, so. So I'm doing 10. And I'm focusing on shorter range of motion, really working on feeling that work in my back hip. That's 5. We're going to go to 10. You can use those parallettes to help you push back. Again, especially as you're first starting, use that support to make it a little bit easier on the lower body. It's a new exercise. Your legs might be like, what in the heck is going on? All right, we're gonna go one more time through, and then I'm ready to take your questions on parallettes, calisthenics, ring training, kettlebells, exercise, fitness, oxtail, whatever you got for me. All right, one more set. Planche lean, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently release. And last time through here, show side angle for this one. So yes, this exercise will help you work towards a front split, if that's something that you're interested in. Even if it's not, again, it's just going to help open up your hips, even if you don't care whether you ever do a front split. But if it is a goal for you, this is a great exercise to help you get there, because it's not just about flexibility, it's about mobility, it's about being strong in your hamstrings and hips throughout your range of motion. Same thing here. This, being able to see myself actually is going to help me keep my hips in a better position, so I'm getting more out of that exercise. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Woohoo! All right, got a little Paralette workout in. I'm glad this motivated me to do a little bit of Paralette work because I haven't done it in a long time. If you guys have any thoughts, what do you think? Did you like it? Do you want to see more Paralette exercises and workouts? Let me know in the comments. I am going to be going live 3 times next week because I only went live twice this week. And I'm going to let you know what, I've already chosen the topics, but I always take topic requests. So if you have other topics, let me know. But what I'm planning to do next week is I'm planning to do talking about improving balance and coordination with kettlebells. So I'm going to be teaching a specific move and set of moves that's fun and helps you with your balance and coordination. You only need 1 light kettlebell to join that. Then I'm going to have a discussion. Training to failure, yay or nay. So some of you have asked me that before about training for failure. So if you want to know what my thoughts are on that, I'm going to be talking about that next week, as well as I'm going to be doing a full body kettlebell workout. So definitely join me for that one. Evie Warrior said, looks like a nice progression to calisthenics. Absolutely. Hi, Michelle. Thanks for joining. Let me know if you guys have other questions. Yes, Evie Warrior says, I have a kettlebell question if you don't mind. I don't mind. Let me know what your question is. Happy to answer that for you. If you have other topic suggestions, let me know, or other questions about ring training and parallettes. Hopefully you guys enjoyed having a little calisthenics week this week. If you missed the ring live, I did that yesterday. You can catch the recap if you go to my profile and hit the live tab. All of the lives are there, so you can watch them afterwards and make sure that you don't miss anything. Yeah, and if anybody's watching this and you thought this was going to be at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, I apologize if you were planning to make it and couldn't. I switched it to earlier because we've got a really dark, rainy day, although now the sun's coming out, but I didn't want to bring my lights upstairs and do a later time, so I thought, I'll just do it earlier. Evie Warrior said, do you think tactical cleans and tactical snatches are easier for newbies in large group classes? By tactical cleans and snatches, do you mean like a hard style? I'm not actually totally sure what the tactical clean and snatch is. Jez said, hi, definitely nay. Jez is a nay on training to failure. So you already know your answer on that one. Like a switch clean. Are you talking about, a switch? Okay. So I'm trying to figure out what, so you're talking about, let me make sure I understand what you're saying here. So you're talking about like, if they bring it up and they're doing kind of this, like that. I feel like that still requires insertion though. Are you talking about like just doing this or something? Inserting the opposite hand through. I mean, you still have to insert. You definitely still have to learn the proper insertion timing. So I personally, so you're talking about it in a group class. It depends on what people's goals are, but I personally, in the classes that I teach, like I teach kettlebell solo now, which is what I feel is a great style of kettlebell training for people new to kettlebells that don't want to learn a ton of technique. I don't actually do any single arm cleans really. So the easiest style of clean to teach a beginner in a group class would be a 2-arm clean. Okay, so this is like you're still getting the benefits of explosive leg action, but you don't have to do any inserting. You don't have to do any rack position. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing a clean where you switch. Besides that, I think it's actually more complicated in some ways because people have to already let go of the bell. And for a beginner, I think that is quite scary. I would be more likely to say, have them use a light kettlebell and have them use their hand to assist and kind of slow it down. Use the hand to help them and help them learn how to do the insertion. I'd be more apt to say that and do that than the switching from one hand to the other. Aaron, I appreciate your comment. Said, hey, Britt, I hope you understand the spirit in which I say this, but you look great and you help me see it's possible for ladies to be kick-ass fit and still look feminine. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, Aaron also made the point that he would be afraid of dropping it. So yeah, it also depends on the level of the people in your class and the proficiency. AV Warrior said, thanks, just so we could work on our flows. Yeah, I think the clean is obviously an important one if you're doing flow. So I think using the supporting hand to kind of help you learn the insertion is great. And it depends. Like, it might depend. Maybe your class picks that up super quick. So it maybe would be something I would do in a group class. Again, it depends on the level of the students in there. Any other questions about fitness, parallettes, ring training, or kettlebells before I log off today? If you missed the Paralette workout I did just a little bit ago, that's okay. After I end the live here, the recap will be posted on my page, so you'll be able to catch it there. And if you missed it, next week I'm going to be going live on Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, and Thursday at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. And I'm not sure which live is going to be on which day yet, but I'm going to do one on improving balance and coordination with kettlebells. So if you want to maintain your balance and coordination and learn a new way to improve that, whether you're new to kettlebells, it'll be simple enough for anyone to do. But even if you've been doing kettlebells for a while, you're likely not doing this series of exercises, and it could be really useful, especially if you want to do kettlebell flow. Then I'll be talking about training to failure, yay or nay, my thoughts on that, and then we'll do a full body kettlebell workout. Rach said, thanks for your content. You're welcome, Rach. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If there's anything specific you'd like to see, let me know. I am open to suggestions and love to hear what you guys are interested in, because I usually choose my live topics based on whatever I'm interested in doing or talking about, but I don't always know if that's interesting for you guys. So love to hear from you guys on what you'd like to see and what you'd be most likely to show up for a live for. Like, what topic would make you go like, oh my God, I'm putting that into my calendar. Always open for suggestions on that. Any other questions? Questions, comments, concerns? Again, if you missed it earlier, parallettes are by Beyond Balance. So if you want to get your own parallettes, be sure to check the description, because I posted my discount code in there. I believe it's just KB Fit Britt, but you get a discount on your order from Beyond Balance. So be sure to check them out if you want to do Paralette workouts. They have these big ones and they have the small ones again. Rach said, I'm a runner, sometimes need to see things to help strengthen and stretch hip flexors. That's actually a great idea. I haven't done that yet. And thanks for that suggestion, and thanks for joining, Rach. So I like that idea. Stretch and strengthen hip flexors. We may even sub that out for one of the other topics next week, because that is a good one. Or we'll do it the following week. EV Warrior asks, have you done a session on kettlebell flows before? No, but that is something that has been requested. Kettlebell flow, we can talk about that. I'm honestly not a huge flow person. I haven't spent a ton of time flowing. I've taught a flow workshop before, but I'm not as into it and don't have as many fancy moves probably as other people, mainly because I feel, as having been in the kettlebell world for a long time, that one of the biggest barriers to people starting kettlebell training is that it's intimidating. And when I see kettlebell flow, I feel like a beginner would look at it and be intimidated. So that's why I personally don't teach flows. I think it's fun to do, but honestly not enough that I really do it very often. Something I do like to do, which is flow-like, is what I'm going to be teaching in the balance and coordination live next week, which again, I think it actually focuses on footwork, which I feel that most flow doesn't talk about footwork, which I think is a mistake, because footwork is kind of essential to flowing. And a lot of people, if they're sitting all day and they're not really practicing their athleticism, they kind of lose that footwork component, and I think that's important. So yeah, we can definitely do something on kettlebell flow. Yeah, we can definitely add it to the list. So we'll have that on the list for a future live. Any other questions? You're welcome. Yeah, definitely check that out. I think it'll be something unique and new that you could add to your flows. Rusty Flower said, how long have you been working out for? I've been strength training for almost 20 years. So I've been strength training for a long time. And let me tell you, it is a cumulative thing. So the results that you get, you know, it is different if you've been training for 2 years versus 20 years. There's a big difference. So it's good not to compare. Comparison is a thief of joy, and it's good not to compare ourselves to people who maybe have been working out for a lot longer. Obviously, I'm a personal trainer. I've been coaching since I was about 20 years old. So you definitely want to keep that in mind when, you know, somebody is showing you different skills. Like on this Paralette workout, some of these exercises, you know, may look like they're easy for me, but trust me, they weren't easy when I started. But it's because I've been practicing many of them for a long time. Yeah, Aaron said, Britt, and it's noticeable when you see your early vids and now. Yeah, definitely a difference. Evie Warrior said, how come there are only 3 exercises in kettlebell sport? Good question. I think you'd have to take it up with whoever created the sport to begin with. I have no idea, but those are kind of the, you know, I think it's similar to why are there 3 lifts in Olympic lifting? You know, why is it clean and jerk and snatch and jerks? You know, it's I think it's modeled in some way after the Olympic lifts there. So that's probably a reason why it's those 3 lifts. Absolutely, Aaron, the only person you should compare yourself to is yourself, although sometimes comparing yourself to yourself is also not a good idea. I've had many students who, you know, compare themselves at age, you know, 45 to what they were doing when they were 30 or what they, you know, and comparing, oh, I used to do this. That can also be the thief of joy. So I think comparing yourself can have its good things and its bad things. You know, make sure you're using it in a positive way. Yes, Jez says she's enjoyed the kettlebell balance moves on kettlebell solo. It keeps the brain ticking over. Absolutely, keeps you going. Balance training is so key as we get older. In general, we need it, you know, but as we get older, we need to keep it up for sure. Yeah, Aaron said, yeah, but reality will hit you when you realize you're not 20 anymore. Yeah, but some of us, sometimes people can be in denial about that, that's for sure. Mick said, learn along the way. I can't do what I done when I was 21. Yeah, things change. Different things happen in life. Velasquez said, appreciate your journey each step you're at. I just had surgery on my big toe. Setbacks are part of the journey. Absolutely. That is a great point, Velasquez. Setbacks are part of the journey. They're part of life. We're just going to have different seasons and things happen. It would be nice if we could just kind of linearly, like, you know, improve or, you know, increase our fitness our whole life long. But I think the reality is it's like an ebb and flow. So, hey, maybe you're real fit at one point in time. Maybe you're a little less fit. You know, maybe you maintain a relative amount of fitness. There's going to be changes. And the most important thing is focusing on health. And it's at certain times that means not focusing on your fitness, focusing on your health, focusing on recovering from a surgery or an illness. And that's first and foremost before thinking about fitness. Aaron said, hearing you talk and teach about taking it easy has been eye-opening for me and listening to your body. I'm glad to hear that because I think it's an important message. You know, it's the message that I need the most, which is why I teach it, because it's something I've really struggled with throughout my life and feeling like I always wanted to push myself harder and harder. And that being also like a psychological thing, you know, like feeling like I needed to prove something or needed to achieve something. And I think it's important for us to, you know, be content and okay with ourselves regardless of what we do or achieve or where we're at with our body, and that it's important to listen to ourselves because, you know, people could look really fit, but if you're driving yourself into the ground, you may actually be very unhealthy and put yourself at risk for other things. So that relaxation component is key. Mick said rotator cuff surgery has been hard coming back. Yeah, it's a surgery is a process to come back from, and if we can look at it that way, injuries can be a huge teacher and a huge lesson to learn to better take care of our bodies. If again, if we choose to look at it that way and we use it to come back stronger and better. So wish you the best in your recovery and take your time, take it slow, do it right. Rusty Flower asked, "Do you meditate?" That's a good question. I I aspire to be a regular meditator, and I do struggle with it. I do struggle with it. But I do some breath work often after I do a workout. I'll lay down and do like 10 to 20 slow breaths. So I consider that like meditation, or when I wake up in the morning, taking a few minutes to just breathe, or before I go to sleep. But it's something I'd like to have a more regular practice of. Do you meditate, Rusty Flower? Yeah, I think it's oh, EV Warrior asked, "Do you use any cardio machines, treadmill, bike, elliptical?" No, I don't use any cardio machines. I would maybe for like warm-ups and stuff like that. If I had one at home, I think I might use it. Like a bike. I do like a stationary rower is great. I don't have a machine at home, so for cardio, I mostly walk. Occasionally I jump on my bike and do a bike ride or go on a hike or something, but I don't do a ton of cardio. I used to do more. I find that it's something that I can maintain a good level of cardio with mostly walking, including some hills, and it doesn't stress out my body. I'm on the side of like I tend to do way too much, so I know that if I eliminate certain things, like I don't give myself, like I don't need to do cardio, it's better for me because I actually get more of the rest and recovery that I need. But of course, that varies per person. Rusty Flower said, "I've meditated a couple times. I'm going to try to get into the habit of it." Yeah, I think, you're inspiring me. I'm probably going to go meditate after this live. I think just setting something that's been helpful for me is setting making whatever the habit is I'm trying to set very small and very easy to do. Because if I set myself a habit, even like I'm going to meditate for 10 minutes a day, it after a while, like, gets difficult to get myself to do it, because in the beginning that seems like a lot of time to do it. Every day I gotta do 10 minutes. But doing something like, okay, I'm gonna do 10 slow breaths at the end of every time I work out. And I start with making that maybe 2 or 3 times a week. I just do that. And that makes it like easier because I'm attaching it to another habit I like to do, which is working out. And then maybe expanding it from there. Aaron said Atomic Habits for the Win. Yeah, I've heard that's a popular book. I have not read it. Velasco said, "I can't meditate. I try, but I end up asleep. LOL." Sleep is a form of meditation, so there's nothing wrong with that. I definitely know what you mean. I also fall asleep. Nick said, "Just build it up like lifting weights." Yeah, that's a good idea. It's just lifting weights is so much more appealing to me than meditating, but it's definitely the thing I need. So I'm glad you guys are encouraging and motivating me to meditate, because I could use it. If anybody has a regular meditation practice, let us know what you do. I know there's some people out there that meditate for like 2 hours a day, and I really admire that. Aaron said, "Britt, do you typically work out in the morning, or do you vary it?" Yeah, I don't. I currently do not follow any kind of scheduled training, because I'm kind of just trying to be more intuitive with listening to my body and not overworking myself. So I don't have a specific schedule. I do not work out like early in the morning. That's rare. Sometimes I go for a walk in the morning, but usually it's like late morning or early afternoon is when I work out. Aaron asked, "Do you find time of day matters?" I think it matters for certain things. I think an early morning workout, if you are going to work out early, I would say an early before like 9 a.m. or before 8 a.m. You definitely want to be cautious with how intense your workout is or how heavy you're lifting, because your body is not as prepared for that early in the morning. They've done studies on that show that if you're going for like lifting as heavy as you can, say if you're a power lifter or something, it's better to do that in the late afternoon when your body's more warmed up, you've had more meals gotten into your system. So I wouldn't recommend super early intense or heavy workouts. That being said, you know, it feels really good to do some form of exercise in the morning. It might be a better time to do some low intensity cardio or a workout that doesn't require like super heavy weights. As far as, you know, if you do want to push yourself, I think late afternoon is generally going to be a better time. Mid-afternoon, late afternoon would be a better time. I think the time of the day, and my answer for many things is like, if people ask about, should I do it like this or like this? Well, which one are you most likely to do consistently over time? I think that time of the day is the best time. If the only time you have is to work out at 5 a.m. and you know that if you get up at 5 a.m. you're going to do it and that's going to keep you going, then I would say, you know, do it at 5 a.m. if it doesn't, you know, stress you out because you're not getting enough sleep. But if, you know, you're more likely to continue doing it by working out at lunchtime or working out after work, whatever works best for you, I think is the best time of day. EV Warrior said sauna is also good. Totally. Oh, Aaron says he walks while he works. He said you learned how to type and walk on the treadmill. Remove the excuses for me. Yeah, that's, I've seen a lot of people that have those little, that have the little walking pads. Those are a pretty cool way to be able to get some movement in and keep yourself going even while you're working behind a computer or at your desk or whatnot. Good idea. Velasco says, I prefer working out on a fasting stomach, mainly because I don't want to run the risk of puking. That's understandable. Yeah, I'm the type of person I could eat and then work out right away, but I don't do really intense workouts anymore. So it doesn't matter so much because I'm probably not going to sweat that much, and it doesn't matter whether I've eaten or not. Mick said, as time has gone on, evening is not my most productive time training now. Evening is your most productive time training now. Yeah, I think whatever you find works best for you is awesome. Aaron said, don't you have to really push yourself to vomit from exercise? Maybe, but maybe some people are sensitive, you know, to any kind of exercise. If you're sensitive to that, that could definitely happen. So doesn't that take an insane amount of exercise? Well, it depends on what you consider insane. I've personally never puked from exercise, but I think when you push your heart rate high, it can be easy to feel nauseous or feel the desire to puke. All right, you guys, we're coming up on an hour here, so I'm going to go ahead and log off. I appreciate you guys for joining me. Stay tuned for our lives next week. Hope to see you then, and have a great Valentine's Day. Have a great weekend. I'll see you soon.